Hello, everybody. Welcome to Voices of Courage Asia. Right before you came, I was trying to teach Lilian how to speak Bahasa, how to pronounce name in Bahasa. And tell you what, we'll leave it to the expert here. Saya akan, berbahas sekejap lagi. Tapi sekarang kita akan cakap about Voices of Courage Asia. Sekarang kita ada Lilian. Lilian, introduce yourself.
Saya Lilian Ong.
Fail. Okay, Lilian, introduce what this is all about.
Cakap Melayu.
Lilian tidak begitu bijak untuk berbahas dalam bahasa Malaysia. So kita akan berbahas dalam bahasa English, ya. Terima kasih.
Okay. Okay, whatever you say.
Friendship.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Lilian, and I'm so excited. Always very, very excited to, have this conversation with Anita, my partner at Class Living, as well as Women of Courage Asia. Now, Voices of Courage Asia channel is a platform where we inspire and empower you with practical tips, life strategies, life stories, right? Life stories, practical strategies and tips to empower and equip you to live a life of courage, purpose, and significance, right? So we talk about various different topics, but primarily based on our blueprint, the Courage Blueprint, which look into the 9 domains of your life, cultivating 7 critical core values through a 3 steps process. Right, so we are at our value of love, right? The value love, and we have been talking about communicating with love. And today, we are going to wrap up this value for love. Because today is the last episode for what do you call that? February, right? Yeah. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up today for the value love.
So we are breaking up with love after this. Okay, we're not breaking up with love.
Say love in Bahasa or in Malayu?
Oh, there's so many ways depending on context. It can be cinta. Cinta is love.
I know, I hear that before.
Sayang is also love.
Yes.
So, depending on context, okay? So enough of Bahasa lesson because it's gonna be so funny.
Let's communicate with love.
Yes, and it's true, right? Communicating with love has no barriers in terms of language. It has no barriers in terms of language. It is very much a universal language. You know, we've been concentrating a lot on the last 2 episodes about love, but we put a lot in context with relationship love. So today we're going to talk about a very different kind of love, which is actually very much part of Lilian's blueprint, her blueprint, which is actually talk a lot about self-leadership. So one way we can love ourselves is to practice self-leadership. Okay, one of the way we can cultivate love, or I think sometimes it's important. It's very hard. We say, oh, we got to love, we got to give, but if you don't take care of the source, which is us women, you'll be running on empty tank. And then one of the way I feel that you can communicate with love is actually cultivate a habit to practice self-leadership. And this is, again, a very different kind of love, which I feel that it is important. Self-discipline, leadership is important because you have got to have a compass, right? You got to have a compass that will direct you towards the right path, I feel. Okay, so
you can't give what you don't have, right? Yes. Yeah, so it is important that we always, the Courage Blueprint is always very focusing on, working within you so that you can, whatever that will flow out from you is your authentic self, is, whatever that is really true to being you, to being the authentic you, including the value of love, including the characteristics of love. Yeah, so self-leadership is very critical, very important steps, the initial steps that we want to be looking at. Yeah. So, yes, I totally agree with Anita that cultivating that habit habit to practice self leadership. It is not it's easier said than done. Yeah, because well, nobody's perfect. We tend to slip back into our negative or self-sabotaging patterns. But
Yeah.
which is why we need support. We need each other. We need the community. We need our coaches and mentors and our loved ones to support us in this journey. Right, this journey of self-development is not a lone ranger journey.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So,
the
how
first
does
question I have,
self-leadership look like?
yeah, what is self leadership? It
Mm,
sounds it sounds so for me, right? It sounds it's two words, self and leader. Sounds like two very a kind of word that is very, how do I say, it's very strong.
yes,
Self leadership. I mean, it's
yes,
too strong. I mean, let's take it's very positive word. And self and leader sounds something that is in your face, that is out there, I feel. So, how do you put these two words together that it sounds so strong?
yeah. And I think, first thing first, oftentimes I hear people, the feedback that I get from people when we talk about leadership, talk about leader, immediately there is a, whoa, I'm
I'm
not,
not a leader. I cannot be
yeah,
leader.
yes. Immediately there's a pullback, there's a withdrawal. You can see from their body language as well.
Yeah, I'm a good follower. In the chessboard, I'm the pawn.
Yeah, and to practice humility, I'm not a leader, yeah, I'm a follower and all that. Yeah, but I always like to use this very common example, especially if I'm talking to parents.
Yes.
If you're a parent, what do you think you are? You are already a leader. Whether you like
Yeah.
it or you are already
True.
a leader the moment you became a parent. Yeah. I mean, in the previous episode, we talked about the 5 levels of leadership, right? If you have missed
Yes.
that episode, you can go back to our channel and search for the 5 levels of leadership. We did
Yes.
cover quite a bit about the mindset and the mentality about leadership, right?
Yes.
So, coming back to your question, yes, leader or leadership. This word is very strong. Yeah, but it is about working on yourself. That's why the self leadership. You
Yeah.
lead before you are able to lead someone. You are leading by what examples, right? You are leading
Yes.
with by examples. You are leading with instructions. You are leading with authority. You are leading with the 5 levels of leadership through
Yes.
relationship and all that. Yeah. So go back
Mm.
and watch that video about the 5 level of leadership by John
Mm.
Maxwell. I mean with reference to John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership. So,
Yes.
talking about leading, and then now we add in the word self. Before you lead others, make
Yeah.
sure that we can lead ourselves. That in
Yes.
simple layman terms, I would use this phrase called just walk the talk. Walk the talk.
Don't
Yeah.
fake it, Don't
Yeah.
fake it till make it. It's very different. It is
Yes.
walking the talk. Okay?
Yes.
And then
Walk the
walk the talk also means doing what within your capacity first,
talk.
doing it within your capacity first, then stretching it a bit and then stretching it further. So
Mm.
it is not something to deter anyone or to, how do you say, put anyone off that, I but if you feel that your life is important, then self leadership
Mm.
is vital. If you don't any talks, it has a lot of components in it where there's a cultivating of certain habits, behavior, and mindsets, but it's also doable. I always believe that whatever we share in this channel, as leader, as I always say, I have walked the talk. I've experienced it. I'm true as Anita have also cultivating this, also learning this. It's still a journey. Okay,
Yeah.
I've not attained mastery. It is, you know the beautiful picture by it wasn't Picasso, it was Michelangelo. The
Mm.
picture of Adam's finger
Mm.
that's almost touching God,
Mm.
that famous picture. For me,
Yeah.
I visualize that as my self-leadership journey. It is almost there. It is almost there, ever touching, but haven't touched yet. But it's
Mm.
close enough. So it's a journey. And that finger, if you see, is an outstretched arm. So for me, this is what self-leadership looks like. The constant need to just achieve it, but not yet there. That's how I see self-leadership.
Yeah, because we are all work in progress.
Progress.
Our
Yeah.
work in progress, and we are always progressing. We are always growing. We are always taking baby steps forward. So if
Yes.
you can lead yourself, then the focus here is to lead yourself to take one baby step at a time forward, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Even
Yes.
if you take two steps forward, one step back, you are still one step forward.
And you're still doing the cha-cha the right way.
Yeah. So yes. So here we hope our audience can come into this synergy with us, as in, like, to have this mentality that you're always progressing forward regardless
Yeah.
of how small each step is. Yeah. Mm.
And regardless
So
of how you feel, regardless of what your journey is, and regardless all the challenges you're facing. Because self-leadership is a big word, but it's a doable small step.
yeah, and that bring us to the next point. It is actually taking intentional action, right? Taking
Yeah.
intentional actions. And there are many ways of many actions, that intentional actions that you can take
Yep.
towards leadership, towards cultivating this habit of self leadership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yes.
first of all, taking, doing what is within your control. I cannot change what's happening with the COVID-19 situation in Singapore. I cannot change that. I have probably no influence on that. But I can change and cultivate a habit that is within me, within
Mm,
that sphere around me, within my heart, my thoughts, my behavior. So what one so what we can do actually, Lillian, is think of one habit that
mm.
annoys you, if I may use that word, right? Or it's like bugging you, and you feel that, oh, I need to
Okay, I'm
change.
back into this pattern again. Yeah.
Yeah, why am I constantly rolling eyeball when I'm driving on the CTE? So it's like that one habit, and that one habit can be something that you feel that it is necessary to change. Okay,
Mm,
it is necessary to change. And for example, right, toxic thoughts.
right.
Example, right? So that could be one habit that you feel that, maybe I will change that one thoughts I have. Example, okay, I'll being very vulnerable here. I've got nothing against Mustafa. I I think it's an amazing one-stop center to go to buy things at a very reasonable price. But for
Mm,
me, I can only step into Mustafa at 2 a.m. in the morning when there's nobody around. Because the place is quite crowded and it's jam-packed with things. And there are times where maybe I need space. I need
mm,
space when I shop. Could be
mm,
the size of my body, I do not know. But what happens is that I lose patience. I lose patience when I go to a crowded area, and somebody would just, it's me again. Can you see cultivating a bad habit, right? To detox. So someone would just put an arm across my eyes to grab something. And I'm like, oi, auntie, personal space. And then I get very upset. I'm like, why are we so impatient? Without realizing my words, I'm also very impatient. I'm impatient with the lady's behavior who decided to outstretch her arm to grab something across my face. She did
mm.
nothing wrong, actually. I was just in her way, probably. So that
Right.
could be one thought, one toxic thought that I need to stop. So what I tend to do when I have to go to Mustafa, example, when I park my car, I sit in the car and go, Anita, today you're going to be nice to everybody, okay? Including that stranger that's going to have the outstretched arm across your face, okay? Okay. And true enough, when I articulate that, actually had quite a pleasant trip. Got what I need, quick chop chop chop. Because the first hour is free parking, so please do everything within first hour. And the parking is free. Okay, and I'm off. And it didn't affect my day where I have to repeat a story again to my kids or to somebody and go, that day I went to Musa. And the conversation is so different after that.
So I mean, that's that's very good examples of thoughts that you have that are we are calling it toxic thoughts here. Yeah,
Hmm.
towards your interaction with others, toxic thoughts that arises when you interact with others, right? Yeah, but and we also want to remember to look inward, right? Because some
Yeah.
of us, or many people I coach, I realize that we have a lot of toxic thoughts about ourselves. Yeah. So like
Oh.
probably a lot of inner critic. Yeah. If you
Hmm.
are, someone who um quite similar to my personality that tend to criticize myself a lot, and that's toxic because
Yeah.
that's what you're criticizing yourself so much, or even demeaning yourself, putting yourself down so
Yeah.
much so that you are preventing yourself from growing, from
Yeah.
achieving, right?
Yeah.
From even from loving, because you tell yourself, I'm not a loving person. I mean, that is a toxic thought. if you
Yeah. I'm not
if
good
you keep
enough.
rehearsing that, yeah, if you keep rehearsing that, I'm just not a loving person. Of course, you will not be loving because you're programming yourself not to be loving.
Yeah. You've already put all the barriers up already. Even before someone can actually step forward and embrace you, you already, hello, the wall is here. Thank you very much. I'm not a loving person, so please don't love me.
Yeah. Or thoughts like, oh, I don't like hugging. Don't hug. I'm not a hugger. Like, um, I mean, fine if you don't like hugs, but there are people that you love that their love language is a physical touch, and they will need a hug, just a casual hug from you. Of course, now we
Yeah.
know when we talk about hugs, it's very sensitive. Okay, but
Soon,
let's
soon, soon.
into
Soon we
the
will allow Carol to hug the whole of Singapore. We have a common friend called Carol. She needs to hug everybody. So don't release her onto Orchard Road. She'll hug everybody.
yeah. So I mean, like thoughts that sabotage your growth, thoughts
Yeah.
that build up defense mechanism,
Yeah.
build up defenses, build up walls,
Mm.
from having a loving relationship.
Yeah.
These are toxic thoughts, right? And we want to detox that.
Yes. You want to catch it. You
So
want to
what
catch
you can do, one very practical thing that you can do is to pen down, catch your thoughts. Yeah. First, learn to identify identify and recognize what are some of your toxic thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Catch them, pen them down, and then we can work on how to address it and reprogram that
Yeah.
thought
It's true.
that's driving your behavior.
Next is toxic emotion. See,
Mm,
for me, right, I don't know, maybe it's my personality or my upbringing. I don't suffer that much on toxic thoughts. Maybe it's not my personality. But this toxic emotions on self,
mm,
it's borderlining best friend status. Sometimes I feel, you know, toxic emotions, for example, like I can swing. I think I'm a very bubbly, happy person. But if crisis, if I may say so, if crisis or say, for example, an argument or a misunderstanding with a loved one, my autopilot
mm,
is there. I'll go down that road and I go, see Anita, woe unto me. I can cry myself a river if I needed to. I will, really have sabotaging emotions on myself. Not to a point of suicide or self harm, but sometimes the thoughts can go so far back that it feels that is it worth it all again? You
mm.
know, is it really worth it being in this position? Is it really worth it living in 2021? Is it really worth it being a mother? Is it worth it being a friend? I think I'm so kind, but look at me now. Nobody likes me. That girl don't want to be my friend. I know I put it in a humorous way, but the emotions for me is something I struggle with. That is
Mm.
something I have to
True,
catch.
true. There are those that struggle with thoughts because they are the thinkers. That's the
Yeah.
first place that they go to, the thinking. Yeah, and they can be so trapped in that thinking pattern of
Mm.
negative, toxic thoughts. And the other group will be like yourself. the feelers. So
Feeling.
so much, right? Yeah, and sometimes so the emotions can be so overwhelming, and especially when they are all negative emotions, it can be very overwhelming and can be drowned in that storm of negative emotions.
Yep.
I personally, I mean, have experienced that tsunami of negative emotions that
Yeah.
drowned me, that totally broke me down. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, toxic emotions is something very real, right?
Yep.
But we don't want to go into self denial. Yeah,
Yes.
because once you go into self denial, you shut down, a part of you, and you can't feel anymore. You feel numb, and
Yeah.
that may be a self defense mechanism, but it is a very unhealthy way of doing it, because that shut you down from all the other positive emotions as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So, recognize, acknowledging, don't go into self denial. Okay,
Yes.
acknowledging those emotions. And if those emotions are negative ones, especially if they are too overwhelming, look for, talk to someone you can trust, talk to someone that
Yes.
have the experience of handling emotions, or a coach or a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So talk to someone, right? Don't bottle up those toxic emotions. They are
Yeah.
going to drown you. And if you are not able to control it, if it gets out of control,
Yes.
always associated, from thoughts to emotions and to the behavior, right? You
Yes.
will act it out in self-destructive um, ways, if that's the extreme that you will go to, right?
Yeah.
So be mindful and be very aware about
Yeah.
leading yourself in catching your toxic emotions. Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Again, back to what Lillian said, pen it down. Okay, pen it down again. If it's we don't even have to pen in thoughts. We can pen in emotions. I mean, I remember writing once is that I'm feeling, really down because and as I wrote down, I realized that some of the reasons are valid and some of the reasons are actually not so
Yeah.
valid. You know,
And it will also help if you can be specific about the intensity of how you're feeling. As some people
yeah,
say, "Oh, I'm feeling angry," but how angry is angry? Some say, "Oh, I'm just annoyed or frustrated or irritated,"
yeah.
but some
Level
is
one to level
like
two.
enraged. Right? So that
Yeah,
the intensity, probably a scale, 0 to 10, you can just
yeah.
okay, I'm angry. What is the scale of your intensity of angry? Is it a 10 or is it just a two? You know, yeah. And if it's just a two, then how do you just pause there and count to five
Yeah,
before you
yeah,
take it out? Just start throwing knife or forks or whatever,
yeah.
right?
Start throwing pots. Yeah, it's true. I mean, there is a power in a pen. I always believe that there is a power in a pen. There is a power in writing. A lot of times say, "Oh, I got no time." You sure you got no time? You sure you got no time? I always feel that honestly, it takes me 5 minutes a day, I'm not a writer. I'm not an avid writer. It's not my autopilot. Okay, it's an effort, but it's point form. It's point form, and there are times where I just voice note.
Mm,
When I have the time, then I will pen down because I feel it's important to pen down. And the beauty part of it is that when I refer back, because it's in a book, right? So when I refer back, and I'm like, "Che, so big deal, man. That day I angry. Ah, yeah, so unnecessary." Because I can review.
yes.
I can
Yeah.
review, and
That
then
is very good habit, right?
yeah,
That's a
it's a
very
good habit. It's a good habit.
It
So
is a
and
good
then
example towards self leadership. Yeah,
yeah,
and
again,
when you do that, that's because you are loving yourself. You're communicating with love to yourself,
yep.
right? Yeah. Mm,
Next is toxic behavior.
mm,
Okay. Um, yeah, that is very obvious. See, thoughts, emotion, which is internal. We may fake it and present that we are okay, But behavior, it becomes very obvious. And again, I think our audience, do realize that, I mean, we do not have to go. We may make sure we watch ourselves not to go extreme. I mean, I have family members who are close to me who have toxic behaviors and addicted to drugs. Not because a friend last time introduced them to it, but it's a choice to be substance abuse because they are insecurities, their negative thoughts they have told themselves, and hence to numb it, they indulge in toxic behavior to just numb things and forget what's in the world. So again, very much the same strategies have self leadership. You must catch yourself if you're moving towards a toxic behavior. And toxic behavior, I mean, I went extreme about substance abuse. A toxic behavior can be as simple as constantly nagging to your kids.
Yes. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
true. I never realized I have at one time I was a professional nagger towards my kids, and
Special.
until professional mastery, remember Adam's finger almost touching God. Okay, Michelangelo painting, huh? Okay, so until my girls were old enough and bold enough to tell me and go, is that all you know how to say to us? Is that all you have to communicate with us? Nag. As soon as you enter the car. How about hi? How are you?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough because,
Really for you, isn't it?
but it also opens conversations. I say, you want me to avoid nagging, then do what you need to do. It's a win-win, yeah. But again, it's a catching point. It's a catching point, and I'm glad it came from my girls because if it came from outsiders, I think I would not be able to handle it. Pride lah, huh? I will not be able to handle it so gracefully. Okay, so yeah, so it can be as simple as that. I don't know, Lily, correct me if I'm wrong. Behavior can also be example. If your spouse come home, you show chow bin face. Chow bin face. Okay, it's one of my favorite word now. Okay, because I'm learning Hokkien.
Translate that for our audience.
For the viewers, chow bin face is show the face. Show the kind of face I like, sian face, the kind of face I'm not happy to see you. The kind of face you greet people when they come home, like, he's home again. The kind of thing. So that I feel is a behavior also that, when you're frustrated, do you show the angry face? And then you cannot hide behind and say that, oh, guess what? I didn't say anything, what? But hello, your face. That also could be a behavior again, about how you greet your family when
I
they
think
come.
that requires awareness because sometimes oftentimes we may not be aware because our body doesn't lie, right?
Yes.
It just
Yeah.
come out so naturally through
Yeah.
our behaviors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And until someone pointed out to you, yeah, otherwise you may not realize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt that this has got to do with some self-awareness here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
And
like
self-awareness is very closely related to self-leadership. To have self-leadership, you must have a lot of self-awareness and a lot of humility to hear difficult changes or
yeah,
create,
constructive feedback we say.
constructive.
Yes, constructive feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So toxic behaviors could be also in the area of in the form of words, choice of words in terms of how you say it. Yeah,
Mm.
right. And sometimes it's not the what you say, but how you say it and your body language that
Yeah.
is communicating that whole thing. Yeah, you can be saying something very nice, but it can come across as very sarcastic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so and there are examples like because the spectrum is so wide now because we won't be able to quote all the different types
Yes.
of toxic behaviors. We just ramble whatever that comes out, and one of those behaviors that we might want to be more aware is sometimes we joke about things and everything and anything, you just joke about it and didn't take into consideration of the other party's feelings. Or,
Mm.
like some people are, again, it goes back to self-awareness. Like
Mm.
they're oblivious to what's the context here, or how's the atmosphere here, how's
Yes.
everybody feeling right now. Like if it's a very solemn situation right now, and you
Of
just
course.
come in, make very sarcastic jokes and all that, and
Agree.
it's a behavior, like a consistent behavior that you bring around everywhere you go, and then you
Yeah.
wonder why people don't really like to hang around with you.
Or why
That
people don't take you seriously.
or why people don't take you seriously, why people don't like to hang around with you,
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, again, this is just one of the many, 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 many examples of toxic behavior. Toxic behavior could be always very physical. It can
Yeah.
go into physical. Yeah, always throw things. You know,
Mm. Okay.
not happy only bang table, flip table, or throw things at people, or like hit your head. Every time not happy, piak, on your head.
No,
That kind
no, my
of.
hair very nice. Please, anybody, don't touch my hair. It's clean and nice today. But
Yeah,
it's true. I
or
mean,
not happy only slap you, like,
oh,
yeah, these are physical
yeah,
toxic behaviors.
yeah.
Yeah, so it can be physical toxic behaviors. Behaviors can be physical. It can
Mm,
also come across as from the things how you say it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how you behave and how you say
true.
it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean we can go
So
on and
we
on.
can go on and talking about cultivating a habit to practice self-discipline. Again, to sum it all, actually, it is a lot of eliminating toxic thoughts, emotion, and behavior, and taking the discipline, okay, to want to better yourself. So that when you're a better self leader, you're a better person, and you're a better person, your sphere, your influence will definitely be better, and you definitely attract the right people towards you.
And that
Speaking
goes back
about,
to the root. Yeah. Sorry. You finish first.
sorry, go on, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah. So it goes back to the root of the being, right? Remember last episode we talked about be, do, have. So
Yes,
communicating with love, and towards self leadership. First of all, it has to start with love,
yes,
right? The
yeah,
value, our core value of love. It has to start
yeah,
with the core value of love. If you
yeah,
love yourself, then you are able to lead yourself, right? If you love
yeah,
others and then able to lead others. Again, we are all work in progress. None of
yeah,
us are there yet. We are all still work in progress, but celebrate every baby step of progress.
yeah.
Okay? Mm.
Speaking about progress, I want to share with us actually our second anniversary is coming up. So
Yes.
I'm gonna share screen now on our
Mm.
website to see all the yummy things that we're gonna have on that day. But first of all, got to know that we are doing it 9 to 5 live, live, and it's only like 2, 3 of us
It's marathon.
trying to work it out. But watch how wonderful it is. I'm gonna share screen now. Okay. And let me share this. Can you see it? So this is our website. Women of Courage Asia is turning 6th of March. If I'm going too fast, you got to stop me, okay?
Okay.
Lillian,
Yeah.
we are streaming it live on the 6th of March, 9 a.m., both on our Women of Courage Asia Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And our theme is Courage to Be You, empowering you to move forward with courage. Okay. And Lillian, would you like to share the program we have for that day?
Wow, we have a full day. Yeah. We always want to challenge ourselves to be doing something different, right? And this is something different that we have never done a full day Facebook Live.
Oh,
Yeah. And with so many speakers, right? We have
yeah.
Story of Courage speakers, we have the expertise sharing speakers, and we have
Yes.
two sets of panel discussion, right?
Yeah.
One about the leading self leadership as a female entrepreneur, as well as self leadership as a community builder. And also, very importantly, we have this our very own parliamentary secretary
Madam
for
Rahayu
Ministry of
Mahzam.
Health. Yes,
Okay.
so she will
Madam
be
Rahayu
gracing us
Mahzam.
today.
She's going to come and give her opening address as our guest of honor. Madam Rahayu Mazam is no stranger to women. She is currently writing the white paper for Singapore in terms of self-leadership, and it's just so,
Celebrating women, right?
yeah,
Contributing
celebrating
to women
women.
development.
Yeah, and here are some of our panelists, as you can see. Okay, we have for self-leadership, we got really experts in the field, okay, that's coming together. And as community builder also, we have, women who are currently in Singapore, actively building communities
At
and
ground
leadership.
level, right? On the ground level.
Yeah, on the ground level. And
Mm,
you can, and Lydian, we have our own communities, women, our community leaders sharing their expertise. Like Carol, she's a confidence coach. Lynette, business ethic. Julia, content marketing coach, and of course, Nicole is about wellness, holistic wellness. And we have 5 of us here that's going to share our story of courage, how we survive, our lives and the trials, and how we came out successful. So
mm.
yeah, so that is us on that day.
Yeah.
Returning to
Yes, too.
so
Making 10
it's
years of hardship of plowing and sowing, and
yeah,
celebrating
yeah,
2 years of community building. Yeah.
yeah. And if you feel that you're ready or you're not ready, doesn't matter. And you feel you need a clarity call to talk about self leadership, click on the link. It's it's in the caption. Make time with Lillian. And of course, one of the best way you can invest in yourself for self-leadership is to invest in yourself and join us for our boot camp. Okay, our Transform with Courage boot camp. Again, as you notice, our self-leadership, when we turn 100% women, even back-end tech support is women.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all women, for women, by women. Yeah. We are not
Yeah.
feminists today, but
No,
we're
we're
just
not.
our,
We're not.
our mission is just to empower and inspire women, because we
Yeah.
believe that when you inspire and empower women, when the woman is being empowered, she will naturally inspire and empower the men in her life, right?
Of
The
course.
spouse, the
Of
brothers,
course.
the sons, and nephews, and yes, and all the males
Yes.
in her life.
Males in her life, of course. So definitely join us. I mean, again, our website is there, a small investment towards self leadership. If you think now is the time, or I need to find time, then make time and join
If
us.
you if you think that you don't have time, then the more you need this, because why
More
are
you
you
need
thinking that you
this.
don't have time, right? And if you want to sponsor another woman, right, to
Mhm.
empower and support another woman, you can actually sponsor another woman to benefit from the Transform with Courage boot camp, right?
Yeah.
If you know anyone that needs, the renewing of the mindset, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we want to invite you, to encourage you to sponsor another woman as well.
Yep. And on that note, join us again every Tuesday and Thursday. We don't take a day off. We have not taken a day off, and we will not take the day off. We'll see you here every lunchtime at 12:30. So thank you everyone for
Thank
joining us. Okay,
you. Yeah,
remember, okay, detox. Okay,
yeah,
detox those behaviors and thoughts.
yeah.